I'm Maria. We're here today to talk about our multi-sided dictionary compilation process for Sonsorolese. Could you please introduce yourselves, Governor?
My name is Lucy Pedro. I'm the governor of Sonsorolese State.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Pedro, and I'm a classroom teacher in Central Elementary School, and I'm also a member of Young Historian of Central, working alongside with Vasiliki.
And I'm Vasiliki. I'm a postgraduate researcher in linguistics at SOAS in London, and I'm also a member of the Young Historians of Sonsorol. Um, I thought this is our outline. So we're going to start with a bit of introductions, talk about the Republic of Palau, a bit about the theoretical framework, our process for compiling the dictionary for Sonsorolese, and then a bit of a discussion about what we did, what we learned, and steps forward.
Uh, Back in 2018 or 2019, um, through former Governor Laura Yarago, uh, introduced Vasiliki to Lahaina, the Secretary of the Youth. So young historian group, and then from there, that's when you came on board and started this work with us. The dictionary has been started about in the late 90s or early 90s, and so many people have started it with some of them uh, are still on board, like Flavian Carlos, um, um, Laura.
So actually, my involvement started with the young historians through Lahaina and Chelsea, where in the beginning we worked remotely, and then we applied for a small grant with the ODP, and then when I came there in October 2022, that's when in December that's when we met Tiffany, and we're continuing our work up to this day. So here's some maps about Palau.
Palau is it's near to the Philippines and Indonesia. It's in the Philippine Sea, and Sonsorolese State is one of the 16 states of the Republic of Palau. For the languages, we speak Sonsorolese, which is similar. Some words are similar to that of the Chukis and Malayan language, which are farther up north or east of Palau. Very different to Palau language.
So we speak Centralese language. There are 4 islands in the Central State, and each island, I guess a long time ago they have their own languages, but we we've lost maybe the other one. So we're mainly speaking the Sonsorolese, and I think there's still some speaking Pulawanese.
Yeah, so the islands are Sonsorol, Puluana, Merid, and Fana. Okay, so in terms of the theoretical framework, so we engaged in what's known as community-based language documentation. So most of our work happened in Koror, Ineang, where many of the speakers live, as well as on Vongosar, which is the village on Sonsorol Island. We didn't do any work on the village in Puluana, but we one of the speakers was in Koror at the time that I was there, and we worked together. Then our work has also been multi-sited. So as we said, we worked on the Rosa, we worked on Koror, but we also worked remotely. And um, our work is kind of using this structure that Flav and Carlos and Joe Kintoki talked about. That's Doro, which is when someone is in charge of a group where they have to take care of them, take care of what they see what they're going to eat, or that they go to school, or in general that they are performing their responsibilities. So with the group, we had our advisors who were in charge of the group. They helped us with organizing the events. They provided food for the events. They advised us on activities. And then we also had team leaders, so members of the Young Historians who were in charge of younger members, and they organized the documentation sessions. And we also collaborated outside our group as well. So we worked with the state office. We worked with the Nifaru, which is the women's organization. We worked with the FAS, which is the men's organization. And then even further out, we worked with the Palau Language Commission and the Bureau of Historical and Cultural Preservation there in Palau. So for our dictionary compilation process, as we said, we had various teams. So in Koror, I worked with Flavian Carlos and Joe Kintoki, who were the Doro for our team in Koror. So our sessions were structured. We would meet every day, every morning, for the period of 2.5 months. And Flavian Carlos would bring his notebook with the word lists, as you can see in the picture. And then we would go through each word. We would discuss its meaning. I would also repeat the word in Sonsorolese. We would discuss its meaning both in Sonsorolese and English. And we would keep notes, but I was also recording the sessions. You can find them on our ELAR collection. And then I'll talk a bit later about how we kind of analyze them and input them in our dictionary. Governor Lucy, would you mind telling us about your involvement with in Koror, how our work started in Koror?
So I have some words in the dictionary that I input in the on the laptop that I was using. Um, then define the words, say the words in record the words that I input in there. I think after I went to Sonsorol on the trip that we went together, and then from there, Tiffany took over uh, the work from me. Yeah, so she's the one that take the lead in the work.
So Governor and Vasiliki came down December, and they brought a laptop and showed me how to use the software. We say software. That's the one we were using to do the dictionary. So I would ask the governor and Mama Juana, she's the one in the picture. I would ask them to help me, and then we would sit down, and I would go through the themes in the we say. I would I will tell them the word in English, and then they will tell me the word in our language, and then we'll discuss it so that I would know how to define them later. And then after inputting all the words, then I would define the words on my own. And because there was no Wi-Fi here at that time, there were very limited resources. I had to depend on Palawan dictionary and the history books and the English dictionary too. So I would, if I'm not sure about the definition, I would find the word in Palawan and then I would look it up in the Palawan dictionary and then input the definition from there. So yeah.
And then, so our work didn't stop there, but we continued working remotely. So while we were working remotely, um, we stored our files on my OneDrive, my university OneDrive, because I had a lot of space there, and we were using Elan for transcription and translation of recordings. And then I would input your work in on a Flex database, which combined the We Say dictionary with our transcriptions and translations. So we'll do the morphosyntactic analysis on Flex, and then I shared the updated version of the We Say dictionary on Language Depot. So our collaboration there was facilitated through Messenger and regular Zoom meetings. So if we had any questions about how to do something on Elan or what a word means or clarifications on on some of my transcriptions, because obviously they were not perfect, we would just communicate on Messenger. And I definitely learned a lot, especially from going through your work on We Say. It helped me a lot with doing my own transcriptions and the morphosyntactic analysis.
Because I was using 3 different resources to define words, I I got to learn more Palawan words and some English words that I didn't know of. I learned from doing the dictionary. I also learned a lot of Centralese words because we we've lost. I don't know half of our language. We've lost it. So while we were including, I kind of learned a lot. Um, so yes, through this project, I got to learn how to use Elan. It was hard at first, but when I started figuring out how to use it, it became really easy and it's really helpful that I actually use it for other purposes too. For for my class, I got to transcribe and translate this story in our language, and then I use it in my Sonsorolese class. So I also did like a karaoke version of this song through you from learning how to use Elan, and then I got to know how to do those.
Oh, I also learned a lot from this doing this project. There are some words that we haven't been using it for long, or I haven't heard it. And by doing this, the defining the Sonsorolese words, I come across some words that uh, are new to me. So yes, uh, I learned a lot from this project.
And then we also reflected a lot. I mean, this meeting for this presentation was also, I think, a lot of offered opportunities for a lot of reflection. So when we were meeting, it was we would provide feedback on each other's work. So where we're at, what we could do better, what, and also identify next steps and reflect on what we've learned. So reflection in our process, in our work, happen not only through feedback sessions after the documentation sessions, and here's an example of the kind of questions that other teams used. But for us, it was mostly through meeting on Zoom or talking on Messenger while we were doing our work remotely and discussing what went well, what didn't go well, what we're going to do next. Um, so this is kind of a reevaluation of the feedback loop that you saw on the slide earlier of community-based research. So it's still kind of, it's still dynamic. It still functions in kind of a cyclical process, but it's more of a dynamic process where it moves, it expands and contracts, where you still have documentation, analysis, and revitalization, but we've incorporated reflection very consciously in our practice, and that's through regular communication and sitting down and talking about our work. But also, training is reframed as a mutual apprenticeship where it's not just one person teaching everyone else, but we're all helping each other and learning things from each other, and that happens through on each of these processes. Yeah, so here's our conclusion. Would you like to share anything?
I would like to say thank you for uh, doing this project with us. Um, our language is very important to us, and being able to compile them and keep them for our generations to come is very crucial to this. We're only few people, and if we don't keep our language, I'm sure we will lose our identity if we don't, our language is not there anymore. So, yes, thank you, Vasiliki, for helping us.
And thank you for teaching me your language and for allowing me to help with your activities, especially the young historians. And I'm very happy that we're still working together and we will continue to work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here are some references, and that's all. Thank you so much.
Para mga tawas.